crafty friends, it's Courtney Brickner, the CB behind the Crafty Brick. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm very excited you're here today because I want to share with you how I use the new rhinestone template maker in Leonardo Design Studio. So I made a template and used the rhinestones, cut them with Romeo. Actually, I think I used Juliet. But my son's girlfriend wanted to have a custom puffer jacket to wear to his basketball game. So we took his number 5, made the template, and I don't really know how to sew, but I did sew for this one because the material was it was kind of like a polyester material, and I was really nervous about messing up the jacket because it was a jacket that she had. She brought it to me, and I was like, I don't want to mess this up. So I decided to sew it. I don't sew, but I did it. I was able to figure this out. She and I actually both sewed it together. So I can't wait to show you. Let's jump into Leonardo and I will show you everything I did.
So the first thing we're going to do is jump here into Leonardo Design Studio and click text. So I'm just going to be using the number 5 here. If you're using fonts, it's best to use like a thicker font so that the rhinestones can fill inside. So let's just bring the size a little bit bigger to the size that I want to work with. And I really don't want this thin line on the outside. So I'm going to ungroup these paths and delete that line on the outside. And now I really don't like the size, the thinness of the 5. So I'm going to go here and create an offset, an editable contour, and I'm just going to make it a little bit thicker so that the 5 is the size that I would like it to be. So now I like that it's a little bit thicker here. I'm going to highlight that, group it together so that it doesn't have the offset. Then I'll go down here to the contour section and click on rhinestones. And then you'll see that it automatically creates the rhinestones already in the shape. You can do different size rhinestones. They've got all those automatically in here. I'm using SS10 today, so I'll click there. This cost calculator is so convenient. It tells you how many stones are in your design, the cost of those stones. If they're, the 5 cents each right here, you can change that number to whatever the cost of your stones happens to be. So it gives you a nice, accurate cost for what it costs you to make this template. Then you can look at them in a different color. Up here you can see the solid preview, change the color if you want. I don't know that really matters a whole lot, but you can do that. Then the fill and fit options, you can do border, fill only, and then the rhinestone vector, that's going to give you the outside and the inside lines. You can create an offset if you want. There's so many options here that you can choose to do. Fit equally just puts them all equally throughout your design. You can do the grid fill, that's going to give them up and down lines. The hex fill is kind of like a diagonal line, or smart fill, which is the one I typically use. It just does the best design for what's going to fit into your shape. And then you can change the horizontal spacing, vertical spacing. You can just play around with these until you get the fill pattern that you like the best for your design that you're working with. And you can angle it as well. So I just play around with all those, get it to where I want, and then accept those changes down here at the bottom. When you go back to your canvas, you'll see that you've got your rhinestone pattern and then your outline also. Let me just click on the rhinestones. Let me move those out of the way. So then you've got your bottom layer as well. You don't have to keep that. Sometimes it helps you with getting the placement and making sure that it's following along a certain line. But you don't have to keep it. You can delete it or you can keep it if you want. I kind of like to use it as kind of an outline so that I can use the rhinestones to kind of fill them in along that path. And this one I'm actually creating an offset, so I'm going to keep the bottom layer. But you go ahead, if there's any spaces of the rhinestones that you don't really like where they're laying, you can ungroup the rhinestones and go ahead and individually move them around to a different spot. I think this pattern looks pretty good without any editing, but sometimes you might find that most of your pattern is great, but just parts of it might not be exactly what you want. So you can click one of the rhinestones, you can copy and paste to create more rhinestones, you can delete places I was just trying to get this so that the bottom wasn't such a jagged edge. So I just created a couple more rhinestones just to have it flow a little bit better along the edge. And you can do that, or you can just leave it exactly how Leonardo Design Space creates it when you create the rhinestone pattern. All right, so now for my design, I'm going to move this back over because I actually want that bottom layer to be more of an offset, and it's like right even with my rhinestones. So I'm going to move it out of the way, highlight it, and I'm going to go down here and create an offset for it. So where the rhinestone fills, so create an offset, and I am going to click an editable contour. I'm going to change the color so I can see exactly where it is. And then I'm just going to increase the offset amount to make it bigger than what this is. Then I'm going to take that offset layer, bring it over, and it actually looks like it's still pretty even. So let me go ahead and just make it a little bit wider along the edges of this rhinestone template, because really I'm trying to make a patch. So I need to have a bottom layer that's a little bit bigger than what my rhinestones are. So let me just make this a tad bit bigger. I'm just dragging the arrows at the bottom, and I will try to move this around and get it in the right spot. Now that I've got my border around my whole rhinestone pattern, I'm ready to start cutting this design. For this project, I wanted to use some glitter faux leather. So I put it on my mat and I was trying to figure out the cut settings, and it just was not cutting all the way through at all. I mean, it's a very thick material, but I was having a lot of issues. I hadn't used this material in a while, so I couldn't remember the cut settings. Then I decided to try something different, flip it over on the back side of the material and go ahead and cut it like that, and it cut perfectly. Then I used flock to go ahead and cut my rhinestone template out. I peeled off the sticky layer, and then I was just left with the holes on the paper. That's not the part we need. We're going to be using the sticky layer for our template. There was one section that was missing, one of the holes that didn't come out when Leonardo cut, so I just pushed that one out by hand. Now there's lots of different ways you can use your template. I just like to put it on a piece of cardstock so that I can reuse it later. And I just stick the sticky part on. Now you're not going to be able to take this off because it'll tear up your cardstock, but I just use it so you can use the template over and over and over. So I just keep all my templates in one place in a little binder, and then I can use them later. Then after you've got your template all made, you pour on your rhinestones and just use your sponge brush to use a circular motion and push them all into place. If you miss just one spot, you can just go ahead and put one at a time in, but it's a really simple way to add rhinestones. After you get all the rhinestones placed in your template, you might have a few rogue stones that you missed brushing them out, so you can just remove those with some tweezers, your fingers, and just get them off your template. Then we're going to use our transfer tape and place the tape on top of our rhinestone template. And we'll use our squeegee to make sure that they're all pressed on to the transfer paper. And then we're going to be ready to take this off and apply it to whatever we want. In our case, we're making a patch, but you can just put this directly onto a shirt. So we go ahead and peel it off, and you'll see all the rhinestones come up from the template and onto our transfer tape, and then we're ready to press. Now in this situation, I actually printed multiple 5s because I'm making a couple different designs. So this is the silver glitter faux leather that I cut just the same as the black one. So I'm just going to do a quick pre-press with this material, and then we will go ahead and press our template on. When it comes out of the press, you'll see it's nice and flat and it's warm, so there's no moisture in this material. And then we'll just get our template. We've got our transfer tape. We're going to place it on to our design or onto our material wherever we want. Now, like I said, this could be a sweatshirt, this could be a t-shirt, a bag, it can be whatever you want. But since we are doing a patch, we're just putting it right on this 5. Then you press it for 15 seconds. Then when the time is up and you open your press, you're ready to just peel off the top layer of your transfer paper, and your rhinestones are attached perfectly to your material. It's so cool. The way this thing sparkles, I just love those stones next to that silver backdrop. Now, this step is a little bit different because I can't sew onto this puffer jacket. So I am going to put my sewing skills, which are lacking, I might add, to the test. So I'm just going to pin this patch on, and I'm going to hand sew it on to the jacket. You might be wondering why I didn't just press the rhinestones onto the jacket itself. It's because this material, I was a little bit nervous that it might burn. So that's why I chose to sew it instead of pressing it on. So I'm just pinning the patch into place so I can make sure that it stays. I have to say, I was pretty impressed with the way this was going. I was trying my best to sew it, and Taylor actually helped me as well. Neither one of us knows how to sew, but we pulled this project off, and I think it turned out so good. I love how it actually kind of puffs just like the jacket. So Taylor wore it to the game that she went to go see Isaiah, and it was so cute. We pulled it off.
All right, so that is it. We did it. We made a design in Leonardo Design Studio, and we made a patch and put it on the jacket. It turned out so cute. I was so happy they sent me a picture. They knew Mama wanted to get a picture of the two of them with that jacket on, so I was very happy that they sent it. If you want any more information about Leonardo Design Studio, click the link below. If you want to get the pro version, you can get that information as well. I use the pro version. It's got a lot of extra features that the basic version does not have. So you might want to check it out. You can get a trial to test it out and see if you like it. You don't even have to have Romeo or Juliet to use the software. You can use it, save it as an SVG or PNG, and then take it to any cutting machine that you want to use. So that's pretty nice also. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope you learned something new. And if you did, please don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so that you don't miss anything crafty, because I'm here every week sharing something. And I'm happy that you have taken some of your time to spend it with me. I truly appreciate it. So I'll be back. And until then, stay crafty, my friends. Bye.